Welcome back, everyone, to the Pack 16 Team Builder Conference Dynasty. We're going to jump right into this matchup here, Santa Fe State and Anchorage. The Auks currently up 3-0, late first quarter, and Ricketts dropping back, no pressure, and he throws a pick right up the middle. Again, guys, I just cannot seem to find the middle linebackers, any linebackers for that matter, in the middle of the field. These logos are too huge at the midfield marker. I honestly thought he was also going to take the drag route receiver down there too. So that's just not a good read by Wes Ricketts. And Solomon Waters finds in the end zone a touchdown. Unbelievable. Austin Pitbull. That's a custom freshman wide receiver. Got a lot of speed. Between him and Moses Waters, man, this is honestly an offense that is a little bit scary in gameplay. We got a touchdown here. J.D. Weeks in the back of the end zone. Ricketts, nice throw. Good read. Got that one-on-one coverage. Just one break to the outside, and the corner was dead to right. So it is a 10-7 game. Anchorage is threatening yet again. This is a little check down throw. Little out route. Austin Pitbull. Doesn't seem like he could run that fast. He's got a big upper body. Looks like more of a fullback. More of a tight end than anything, but man, he is so fast. He's a really good wide receiver. Going to be a guy to watch out for here. So Santa Fe State continues to find themselves down by 10 points here, 17-7, and then we got to throw out to the numbers, the left sideline there, Jose Montero. Good read as we're nearing the end of the second quarter. Ricketts is on fire. He passes out there to DK Horn, gets the first down. First down and goal, and J.E.G. fumbles the ball, but it is recovered at the goal line. Offensive lineman picks it up, and yeah, he's strutting the stuff there. Yeah, that's right. I got good awareness. I got good reaction time. Kyrell Royce picks it up for a touchdown. Unbelievable. That doesn't really help anybody's fantasy lineup. Next possession here for the Roadrunners. Little play action to his offhand side. Ricketts is hit as he's thrown, and it's going to be picked off. Interception number 2 for Ricketts. And these are just becoming costly in this game. We're late here in the third quarter. Second half has not been kind to both of these offenses here. Nobody can score. Waters rolling around into the pocket, gets sacked. Going to force a third down and 19, and he's holding his side a little bit. You wonder if that's going to affect him here on 3rd and 19, and he's not going to get out of the pressure here. It's another sack, but how did we not get a safety there? I guess they're going to say forward progress, even though he was moving backwards. Literally, it's crazy. J.E.G. rushing up the middle, all the way down to about the 4-yard line. First and goal, Ricketts. No pressure, scrambles, trying to buy a little extra time, but he's got the red on the passing meter, and it's going to be an interception in the red zone. Oh, this is not good. Wes Ricketts got 3 interceptions today in the fourth quarter now. 3rd and 6. Defense has got to make a play here. Waters throws it out of bounds. He might have had some room to run, but that's the CPU for you. CPU is going to CPU. Now, take a look at what we got here going on. We are going with the freshman Josh Summers on a 3-minute drive to get another score. We have been shut out in this second half. Ricketts has not been very good. And so far, so good for Josh Summers, the freshman. We just trying to make a change a little bit. Throw a little change up. Do something different. Move this offense down the field. And it looks like he's doing just that. The freshman looks comfortable. Finds another freshman, DK Horn, for a big first down. Oh, what a throw in the end zone, but it's going to be dropped by J.D. Weeks, another freshman, making a mistake here. So 2nd and goal, Summers fires out to Weeks on the drag route. They pushed everybody to cover the end zone. That's a touchdown for the Roadrunners. Josh Summers gets it done. Might we have a little bit of a quarterback controversy? I don't know. Wes Ricketts has been actually pretty solid all year long. He's one of the Pac 16 conference passing leaders, so I don't really think that we're really serious about making a change. But guys, I gotta be honest. He helped us potentially win this game. We got a pick 6 here. What a play at cornerback, but oh no. A flag on the field. It is Cole Freed. He's going to get charged with a roughing the passer penalty. And you know what? When it happened, I was like, there's no freaking way. But on further review, you can see him in the bottom left-hand corner. It was indeed a roughing the passer play. And oh, what a play out there now. Cornerbacks diving all over the place. We got to hold here. We've had so many games in this season where we've lost on one of the last possessions. Almost an INT. We got to make that play. There's a couple throws here. We got to make that pick. 3rd down and 10. Waters, no pressure on him. Freed, usered up, makes the pick. We finally come through, and how perfect of an ending is that? The guy that took an interception away from one of our corners comes up with a big play here. He comes up with the interception himself. That was his grand plan, wasn't it? That was his grand plan, everybody. He wanted the INT for himself. We're just looking to run some clock off, but JEG, Jaden Edwards George, at the 10, at the 5, at the goal line. That's a touchdown. Roadrunners getting another score. And honestly, that's really just going to put the nail in the coffin there for the Anchorage Auks. They yet again lose another football game in Pac-16 play. 28-17 game. Little fumble. And Day Withers, he forced it, he recovered it. Teammates couldn't get the job done, so he said, I'll just do it myself. Gets the big stop. Anchorage finds themselves in the losing column yet again. 28-17 is your final score. We shut them out in the second half of this football game. Your player of the game, 9 catches, 82 yards, 2 touchdowns for J.D. Weeks. Had himself a nice game. Caught a touchdown from Wes Ricketts. Caught a touchdown from Josh Summers, excuse me. So it doesn't really matter who's throwing the football. J.D. Weeks just continues to make plays. That's just what he does. So 3 interceptions for Ricketts. Again, he's one of the Pac-16's better quarterbacks, but he does find himself in these spots where he's throwing picks that he probably shouldn't be. So I don't know. Like, we're winning games despite it, and there have been some games that we could have pulled off some upsets here and there. Namely, I'm thinking like Fresno A&D. We probably should have won that game if Ricketts doesn't throw a couple picks there, giving the Artists more possessions, extra possessions. So I don't know. I don't really know where I stand on it, but there is now more of a debate. There is more of a dilemma happening than there had been in a couple of weeks, right? A couple of weeks ago, we really weren't talking about this as an option. But after seeing what Josh Summer was able to do, he made some pretty accurate throws there too. So I'm leaning in some way here now. It's a little 51-50. So you guys are gonna have to let me know in the comment section what you want to see. Okay, just let me know what you want to see. But for Anchorage, the struggles continue. They have some playmakers here. They have shown flashes. They've done it all year long. They've done it in gameplay. Against Fresno, we saw them. Offense seemed fine there too. So they got some playmakers. They just got to put it all together here with a couple of good recruiting classes. And I know some of those freshmen on their roster here: Solomon Waters, Moses Waters, the quarterback, the wide receiver, and then of course now Austin Pitbull, another wide receiver there. So they've got some playmakers. They've got some guys there that can make some plays and help that offense move. So guys, we're actually going to move out now to Idaho Tech and the Fresno A&D Artists. Big touchdown there to start the game off, 7-0. No Keneal Mason here on the commentary. I'm going to take over this game here. We're going to get through this one very, very quickly. 7-0 game here after a big sack. Chet Trask beat the Roadrunners last week. Played pretty well. Look at this. 3rd and 17. What a dot. I mean, he was wide open. Led his receiver perfectly. We got a little power O. Touchdown on the ground. Idaho Tech, they can do both things. They're very well balanced. When I think Idaho Tech, I think they're just going to throw, but that's really not their offense. They do like to run the football every now and then. 3rd down and 11. Pass going to go incomplete. Magic Hendricks trying to escape the pocket, and Keneal heads back into instant replay because he's probably thinking the same thing I am. Like, how did I get caught from behind here? I've got enough speed with Magic And maybe he probably could have had that first down had he just run for it anyway. 4th and 11. They're actually going for this. Getting a little cocky. They don't get it. Idaho Tech does get the stop. 3rd down and 2. And oh, they sold out for the run. They do dial up the blitz perfectly. And the Artists will get a stop here. Now, this kicker ruined Santa Fe State's hopes at getting an upset last week. He bangs a field goal good here. Nice and long for the Idaho Tech kicker. Now look at this perfectly timed route. Perfectly timed route. Unbelievable. This offense is almost unstoppable. They're so good, man. It's a little post corner route, and they timed it up perfectly. Like, you got to know that that's open. You gotta know from that cornerback, the way he's backpedaling, that that's going to be open, and you got to know where that route stem is going to cut off. Even this throw, look at that. Magic Hendricks again going to find his receiver there. Another big-time first down. Idaho Tech, as you saw, could not come through on their next possession, so now we jump to Fresno. And their next possession, that's a touchdown here. It's 21-10, heading into the second half. Oof, an 11-point game, and you can see the statistics there on the right-hand side. The difference, Idaho Tech, 3 minutes of possession, and they're not getting a lot of yards. So that Fresno A&D defense coming through here. Look at how they're selling out for the run. 2nd down and 2, they were selling out, and yet still, Calypso Berryhill takes it to the house. And they even got the fireworks in the background there. And of course, Keneal says, how the heck did that happen? I sold out for the run up the middle, and then they ran it up the middle, and they took it 70 yards. How did that happen? And of course, this guy right there, the linebacker, that's kind of his gap. They just didn't cover it correctly. So 21-16, Trask doesn't even pitch the football. Ouch. They're going for 2, trying to get to a field goal game here late in the 3rd quarter. They don't get it, and now a deep bomb. Oh, I mean, this offense, man. This offense is crazy. Sport Bilico with the touchdown. Deep bombs, man. Deep bombs. You got Bourgeois can do it. You got Magic Hendricks can do it. Everybody loves those deep bombs, and now you got a great play on defense. Tough call here coming up for Idaho Tech. They do have to go for it here. 4th quarter, got to get it done. And on 4th and 2, they do not. They get stuffed. They get stuffed. Hafala with a nice play. Oh, a safety? Hafala is actually the defensive player, guys, that made that play. How is that not a safety? What are we doing here? Forward progress? I don't think so. Magic was moving backwards. They're not going to give him the safety. 3rd down and 24. Oh, they got the safety. He's tackled in the end zone. You can't tell me forward progress. You can't. He's in the end zone right now. Idaho Tech gets screwed twice, it feels like. It should be a 10-point game with the ball. Should be 18-28. But Chet Trask throws a pick to Pruitt. He's just been an interception machine all season long. And then Jaden Parker takes it to the house. Touchdown, Fresno A&D. They're just a very complete team. And you know what's scary? This team's a 74 overall unit. They're just like Santa Fe State as a 72. That's crazy to see how many points they're putting up, how good that they play on defense. They're just well-rounded. They're sound every which way. They got good chemistry. Think when they get actually really good players. They get 90 overall players. They get 80-plus overall players. Once they get a good recruiting class. This is, I don't know, man. They're a really tough team. I don't really know how to scheme against them. They can do so many things right. They call the correct plays. They know their timing on their routes. Again, that chemistry factor, too. They got some good freshmen as well. Hendricks, Jaden Parker, Sport Bilico, Coco Bop on defense. Like, they're just a very, very, very solid team. Now, unfortunately, guys, for Chet Trask and Idaho Tech, their season's over, basically. Like, you can rattle off a couple of extra wins, try to get to a bowl game, but conference-wise, their season's done. There's just no way that they can recover from this. We'll see how they do in a Week 9 simulation here upcoming at the end of the video. But this is a big game for them. They needed to knock off Fresno A&D to keep their Pac-16 conference hopes alive, and they just could not get it done. So that's an unfortunate loss for them. Chet Trask, if you picked him as one of your quarterbacks for the fantasy week, for the fantasy game, he had no touchdowns. So it was just Calypso Berryhill all day long, right? The offense was stalling out. They couldn't quite get it into the end zone, so that's unfortunate for you guys that picked Chet Trask. He's a good quarterback, but Fresno A&D, they got to him. They got to him this week. Now, for the artists, as they look ahead, they get Honolulu College upcoming here in week number 10. And then in week 11, they get Northern Utah. So we're going to cover a little preview of those games here upcoming in the next couple minutes after this game between Albuquerque and Northern Utah. So we do get another Northern Utah game here in user versus user gameplay. Let's see how that they are able to compete against one of the top teams in the conference. Harris, big move here, just making everybody miss, just shaking and baking all over the field. We got it at the 1st and goal. Good blocking for Harris. That's a touchdown. He's going to run it in, and of course the Albuquerque Arrows are shooting the arrow. They're shooting the flag down off of that B. Golden Swarm, got to find a way to respond. Late first quarter. Look at Anyakachi. Whew. Good moves. Good moves. Golden Swarm moving the ball here. 3rd down and 10. Another really tight window throw. Nice throw there by Novak. A little risky. He does take risks. He's like Brett Favre out here, man. Newman with the catch. Gonna get a 1st down. Big time gain there. Little run up the middle. That's another touchdown there on the scoreboard. But now we got ourselves a tie game. So the Golden Swarm now 7-7 game. And they actually chewed off a little bit of clock there. So we are now in the 2nd quarter, guys. Actually late. Late 2nd quarter now. Nice throw there from Bourgeois. About 2 minutes now. We're well past the 2-minute warning here. About 1:35. They fake to the wide receiver. Throws to the back of the end zone. What? What were you looking at, Dalton? I'd love to know. I'm going to talk to you on Discord. I would love to know what you were looking at right there. Maybe you got lucky. I don't know. You're just probably going to say that you were pretty good. I would never have thrown that ball. I thought it would have been picked. That's just way too risky. But you know what? Kudos to you. You got a lot of confidence making that throw. Nice drive here by Northern Utah. They get a response touchdown. So it is now tied up yet again. We're all tied up. That is Newman, the tight end. It's 14-all. Late 2nd quarter, 35 seconds left. Bourgeois rolling out to the right. He's going to throw on the run. It's a deep shot. It's going to be caught by Ortiz, but we do have a flag on the field. What is it? He was well away from the pressure. So, yeah, I was just going to say it's not roughing the pass or anything. So it's going to be a penalty on Bourgeois for illegal forward pass. And then we're going to bomb it deep out here. He must have been a little upset that he got that penalty called on him, took a touchdown away. Might have doubled down on the mistake here. Interception, Northern Utah. They are hanging in against the Arrows. Could the upset be pulled off? Look at the protection here. Little check down to Onyekachi. Little move. Nice move. Whew. Golden Swarm, they're coming back, guys. They're coming back. Tie game. They're making good throws. Novak is safe and clean in the pocket. Now it's just about reading the defense. 3rd down and 3. Oh, no. Reading the defense. I just said it. I just called it. I don't think he ever saw Karan Kent. And if you're a lip reader, if we're doing the John Boy Media thing, I never saw him. Yeah, I never saw him. Karan Kent with the pick. That could prove costly. Because you know how these things go. You give a good team extra opportunities, they will make you pay for it. Ortiz, big time catch, big time run. Had the touchdown taken away from him before the end of the half. Gets this one back. It's now 21-14, and oh no, they're starting to implode. The Golden Swarm are imploding. It is a pick 6. Beck takes it all the way back for a 30-yard pick six. Hello. How you doing? Northern Utah fans, the student section, they're a little disappointed now. A 2-touchdown game, 28-14. They are still in the game, but they're imploding. As we said, they're imploding. Ouch. Spears gets a pick. Novak is crumbling under the pressure. Now down in this 14-point deficit. Bourgeois, too much speed. That should put a dagger into this one, guys. 35 points. A lot of it coming here in this second half. In this fourth quarter, I should say. 3-score game at this point, up by 21, and another interception. At that point, I don't really blame him because you're just trying to make something happen. What's the difference between a second pick and a third pick in a 3-score game, right? What's the difference? Well, maybe a different quarterback will change it. Maybe it's going to be up to Brady Urker, the freshman, and it's not. It's the same old story. Same old song and dance. It's a pick six. Lee takes it in for a 20-plus yard pick six. And that's your game. That's your ball game. 42-14. It's the tale of 2 quarters. The second half for Northern Utah was not kind. They did not score a single point in the second half. On the flip side, they gave Albuquerque at least 3 touchdowns. Right there. Out of the 4 that they scored in the second half, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 4 total. I think they gave them 3 touchdowns off those picks. So, yeah, wasn't good, guys. Was not good for Northern Utah. They hung in there for as long as they possibly could. But in the end, the talent came out for Albuquerque. It really did. It's a good win for the Arrows. Bad loss for Northern Utah. You thought that heading into that game, they had a chance a little bit. They had been rattling off a couple wins here and there. They've been kind of in that Bellingham State mold where they started off cold. Middle of the season now, they're starting to find their stride, getting a little hot, getting into the conversation a little bit, maybe a dark horse candidate. But in the end, finally having to face off against a very, very good opponent in Albuquerque. They just could not clutch it up. They couldn't get it done. So you see the final line there for James Novak. If you picked him as one of your fantasy quarterbacks, you're struggling a little bit there with the 4 picks. 5 interceptions total for quarterbacks for the Golden Swarm. Urker had 1, and I get it. You're just trying to make something happen. Anything. Maybe you don't trust yourself. Maybe you're not making the right reads. You're trying to force some things. Make something happen. Kendricks had a good game, so if you picked him as a wide receiver, yeah, 7 catches, over 100 yards. Didn't see him a whole lot in gameplay here. Saw a lot of Tony Newman, but not a lot of Myron Kendricks, but that's all right. And that's your ball game. So, guys, that'll do it for Week 8 action. We'll go ahead and take a look at the box scores from across the Pac-16 Conference, and then we'll get into Week 9 simulation and do a little preview for Week 10. I've also got the fantasy game update here as well. So, guys, I'll see you with the rest of Week 8 action here coming up. Week 8 is officially in the books, so let's take a look at the box scores. We got Vegas State 41-23 victory here over OMI. Liberty against Multnomah State 14-7. Multnomah State's defense still continuing to play very, very well. They've only given up 10 points in a matter of 3 weeks. They shut out Eastern Michigan in Week 6, 65-0. Then beat OMI, only giving up 3 points to them. Now a touchdown here to Liberty. So they needed every ounce of their defense here in this matchup here in Week 8 to get that victory. Colorado A&T survives a potential upset there from North Pole, 42-37. We will catch some box scores here just real quick, just so you guys know how your fantasy players did for your fantasy lineup. UMR, tough loss there against Boise State. Apparently they just could not stop Genty. And then Honolulu College, we were just highlighting them for a couple weeks now as they've kind of been surprising in the Pac-16. Tyler Stratton playing really well, but apparently could not muster up enough offense to beat San Diego State, of course, on the road in California. Kind of a tough game for them, of course, anytime you're traveling to or from Hawaii to play football in that week, that's always tough. So Honolulu College gets a tough loss. But let's take a look at the box score here real quick for OMI and Vegas State. I think the one thing that really shows how this game went was 1 for 10 for OMI. 10% conversion rate on third down. So you do that, you're going to lose some games, of course. No turnovers for both teams. So that's a good sign. It's a positive sign there for OMI. But they keep having changes at the quarterback position. Stranahan is still hurt. He hasn't been able to play. McClatchy apparently got hurt. He was sacked 2 times. 4 of 8, then 4 of 11 for Damian Quinn. They're just not very good. You can see the overall ratings, guys. Quinn was just not ready. Herman Granger, another touchdown for him. Ran the ball effectively, but he's just not getting as many attempts as you would like to see. And then receiving-wise, Landon Kubiak, for your fantasy purposes, did get the touchdown there for OMI. Now for Vegas State, Weatherholt was decent. It's pretty good, 65% completion. That's how I kind of look at how the quarterback did. What was your completion percentage? How many times did you throw? How many sacks did you take? And did you turn the ball over, which he did not do, so that's a positive sign. Fotios Marinos, an 80 overall junior. He's been pretty solid this season for Vegas State. I think maybe down the road they're going to try to find a game-changing running back, a guy that's going to receive the ball in the backfield like they want Marinos to do. It's his tendency, but I just think that they would really stand to gain from a guy like that, because other than that, they don't really like to run the football. Like 13 carries for Marinos today with a 5.2 average. And then Weatherholt, I mean, I say they don't like to run the ball, and maybe Marinos just wasn't very effective, so the quarterback says, I'll take it, I'll do it. He scores 3 touchdowns in this one. Good performance. Daquan Sash, 7 for 68 and a touchdown. Lennox Reed, 7 for 62 and no score. Kazmarek on your fantasy team, guys, a senior, 4 catches for 40 yards. And, yeah, out of the backfield, Fotios, 3 catches for 19 yards. Vegas State gets a nice victory there over OMI. Multnomah State and Liberty. What was the name of the game here? Well, 4 of 14 on third down. And then Multnomah State, 5 of 14 on third down. Still no turnovers here in this one. You would think that with that low score, you would think that there were some turnovers. But I guess the offenses just really couldn't figure it out. Defenses both give up a touchdown in the first quarter. Then nothing else was scored until the fourth. And again, I wish I knew timing-wise, when did that happen? When did that touchdown happen? Was it the final drive? Because we can go with that for storyline purposes. Oren Sparks led the team down the field for a game-winning touchdown drive, but he didn't have any touchdowns this week. So if you guys had Oren Sparks in your fantasy lineups, that really hurt because he was listed as a QB1 this week. So you missed out on some solid points from other quarterbacks by selecting Oren Sparks. It was kind of tricky, wasn't it? They had been scoring so many points the last 2 weeks. Then they go into this matchup against Liberty. You would have anticipated, you would have expected that Multnomah State would be putting up points, but they didn't do it. Brad Hunt had a touchdown, had a good game, 16 for 78. Sparks had that touchdown. And I guess you could say Oren Sparks. Which one was it? Was it the first one in the first quarter, or was it the last one in the fourth? I guess we don't really know, but yeah, Multnomah State sneaks out of here with a victory. A couple receivers for you. We got Brad Hunt catching the ball in the backfield, 3 for 20. Chipped in a little bit for your fantasy purposes, 3 for 22. And then Cervantes Corsair, wide receiver 2, 5 for 44, but no touchdowns. Now that UMR game, scored 11 points in the fourth quarter to come back, but that second quarter for Boise State really won them this game. 46% on third down, but it's more about the quantity. How many times did you have to face third down? Boise State, 5 of 10, and UMR, 7 of 15. So that's a lot of third down conversions that they were being asked to convert on, and had the 2 picks as well. We'll see how Genty did. I'm interested in that. 4 touchdowns given up by, wow, he didn't play. I wonder if he's hurt. No, he's just not playing. I wonder what that's about. Wear and tear, something? I don't know. That's crazy, but Jambris Dunbar, the sophomore, is getting more run than Genty. That's interesting. So Nick Paget, he was also in the fantasy game here. 2 picks. He really just grinded that thing out as the QB2. And yeah, that was kind of sucky for him. We've got Okafor, Paget with the rushing attack here. Zaire Bishop, 2 carries for 73 yards. Love that. Serna Ruiz, 5 for 75. So he led the way with the receiving numbers there. 6 receptions for Zaire Bishop and a touchdown. Last game to cover here, Honolulu College and San Diego State. 20 points in the third quarter for Honolulu College. So the Islanders did come back, but nobody scored in the fourth quarter, and that's what cost them. That 2 of 13 on third down cost them big time. I think those are the big key things. When you're looking at as a reason why a team lost, it's turnovers and it's third down conversion. How many times were you able to continue the drive that may have stalled out and you gave the ball back to the other team? Of course, 473 yards of total offense will play. They had the same number of first downs. They had a better average yards per rush, but third down. Got to come through on third down. Tyler Stratton got a pick, had a couple sacks, given up only 56% completion percentage, almost got to 300 yards. Is running the football. It's part of Stratton's game apparently now. He's running the football. 5 for 99, almost at 100 yards rushing on 5 carries. I guess they just didn't respect the fact that a 6'4" quarterback can run a little bit, so that's crazy. Romulus Suggs in your fantasy game here, 13 for 78. And receiving-wise, Cordova, McGarry, and Braden McLean. So McLean finally cracking into the fantasy lineups here. 8 receptions for 75. McGarry, 7 for 98 in a score. And Ajay Lassiter, maybe he's going to eventually break into the mold there as a 91 overall. So that's receiving core for the Islanders. Really helped them come back in this game, but again, it just was not enough. So here's all your stats, guys. Put in. We got Bourgeois, Ricketts, Hendricks, all their touchdowns, all their rushing yards for the fantasy game. So, of course, I sent this over to Little Broski, and he came up with the leaderboard here for week number 8. So if we go to week 5, this is all of your channel points standings here for the fantasy week. Congratulations to Chiefy, who came in first place, Mitchell Simmons in second, Christian Gamer and Ethan Hickland came in third place at a tie, which is kind of crazy. 163.4, so they must have had the same lineup, or maybe 1 or 2 players are a little different. Just kind of weird that it's the same lineup. And then, of course, anyone that finished in the 50th percentile, so of course we had 20 entries, which means that the top 10 people will win channel points, and the bottom 10 players will not win any channel points. So I know last week we had a couple channel points just for playing, and that was simply because, well, I made a little mistake with Vegas State players not playing. So yeah, Clemson squad, Brian Street, Chad Bourne, Doggy, Blue Demon, Chinbeard. Again, Chinbeard, actually, he's struggling, man. He's struggling. He had 96.1 last week, finished in last place, and now he's at 97.7. So he's inching a little closer away from last place. I know I can tease him, so it's okay. But yeah, so no channel points for the last 10 people, but our top 10 finishers did get channel points. So congratulations to you guys, and I'll just make sure that I'm tracking your channel points here in this column and add up the channel points totals for you guys at the very end of the year. As you know, there are weekly prizes such as these channel points, and then at the end of the year, we combine them all together and figure out who wins the mega prospect, so to speak. So let's get in now to week number 9 simulation results and a week 10 preview. Week 8 is in the books. Let's move on to week number 9. We did simulate this. You guys can see here on the far right hand side that 0 times played. We just did not play this week. We had 1 user game, Northern Utah against the Bighorns here, University of Montana Rocky. And honestly, just really the reason why. We just had one user game, and we just all agreed, you know, it's probably the best interest of the series to just keep moving forward as fast as we can and go from there. So Vegas State gets a victory over Idaho Tech, 52-31, 24-19. Elijah Spears there, the Colorado A&T quarterback, doing his best to beat down those Orcas, but Oren Sparks and the gang just a little too much. Rice beats Sedona State, 38-20. Sedona State, man, they've got some issues. They've got problems. Northern Utah gets a nice win over UMR in sim. Again, in sim. So maybe Novak wasn't really that bad in simulation. And Boise State will lose to Honolulu College. So Tyler Stratton does get the victory. He does get the job done. And that's a good win for Honolulu College. So now for week 10, let's take a look at the schedule. All right, guys, here's your Week 10 matchups up on your screen. We've got Santa Fe State against Texas Tech. We've had a really tough out-of-conference schedule this year. I didn't think Texas Tech was going to be really that good, but apparently their quarterback's playing at a Heisman level. He's in the Heisman race right now. And Tech's a top 10 team that we now got to go in there and hold our own. Wes Ricketts turning the ball over left and right against an Anchorage Auks team. Like, it's not going to be an easy test for us by any means. And all we're trying to do at this point, it's not a conference game. We're just trying to get to a bowl game. That's all we want to do. That's what little old Santa Fe State's just trying to do. We're trying to stay competitive with some of those top teams in our conference, like Fresno, like Albuquerque, like Honolulu and LA Metro. We just got to just hang in there. Maybe we can pull off an upset somewhere. But against a team like Texas Tech, we just want to hang in. That's all we want to do. We just want to get to our good bowl game, get some recruits, and go from there. Now, Albuquerque against UMR. I like Albuquerque in this matchup. I don't really like UMR here. Maybe they get a couple fluky touchdowns and give Dalton a little bit of some unrest there, make him a little uneasy and a little queasy. But they just don't have enough playmakers to match Albuquerque. I think that's an easy victory for the Arrows. You got Northern Utah against Anchorage. The thing with Anchorage, they gave me some fits. They actually have some good defensive players, and their offense can play a little bit. Austin Pitbull, Buddy Bannister, Cooper McTavish, the running backs, Solomon Waters, the quarterback. Like, they've got some custom guys on that team that can make some plays. Northern Utah have to take care of the football, which they've shown that they haven't been able to do that consistently. So maybe Anchorage gets the upset. I'm not sure. Idaho Tech, Bellingham State. These are probably the two matchups here now. Fresno A&D, Honolulu College, Idaho Tech, and Bellingham State. Those two games right there, probably the biggest games of this week. You can make an argument, Santa Fe State and Texas Tech, but most people are looking at that game on paper like, no, Texas Tech's got that win easily. But these two games here at the very bottom, this 5 o'clock game and 7:30 game, Idaho Tech is basically eliminated, having lost to Fresno A&D and losing to Vegas State. They've got 4 losses now in conference. They're basically done. But Bellingham State is not eliminated yet. They still have a chance to stay within the conversation. The thing with Tech, though, they've still got a lot of good players. So, yes, Tom is playing a team that is effectively eliminated from Pac-16 Conference Championship contention, but they're still a good team. I lost to them. I mean, that's not really saying much, but I lost to them. They gave me fits. They could potentially knock out the Mighty Puffins, so that's something to watch out for in that matchup. Then you've got Fresno A&D and Honolulu College. Big week for those two teams. They are in that conversation for Pac-16 championship contenders. Of course, you got LA Metro, you got Albuquerque with 1 loss in conference. Fresno A&D has not lost. Actually, they do have 1 loss in conference. They lost to OMI. A sim week that we all agreed on. I think it was like week 4 that we all agreed on with sim, and they end up losing that game, which is crazy. But they haven't lost a game that they've played. So that's kind of the biggest thing here against Honolulu College. How are they going to respond to that offense? It's going to be a shootout. If they get that game played, it's going to be a shootout. Stratton, Magic Hendricks, Romulus Suggs, Jaden Parker. Got all the wide receivers there for Fresno. You got all the wide receivers for Honolulu College. The defenses are going to have a lot of work down there in Hawaii. So, guys, that's your Week 10 matchups. We will see you guys on Thursday for week number 10. And then we'll get week 11 games on Saturday. So next Saturday will be week 11. And then from that point, we're going to move a little bit quicker and I'll jam-pack a lot of these games that are going to be ending the season. Week 12, 13, 14. Like, we got to jam-pack all that into one, like, finale episode. Very quick cut highlight reels. And it kind of sum up season 1. Get you guys in the know who's going to play in the conference championship game. And maybe by then we'll end up figuring it out anyway. Like, it's mathematically impossible for some teams to jump, you know. Maybe it's going to be all figured out by week 12. Who knows? But, yeah, so a lot of storylines happening here for Season 1 as we enter into the final weeks of the Pac-16 Team Builder Conference Dynasty. So, guys, leave a like if you like this thing. I will see you back here on Thursday for Week 10 and next Sunday, actually, not Saturday, next Sunday for Week 11. I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.